Hi everyone. I hope you all are doing good. Okay. Uh, Good morning and good evening to everyone. So, what I'm going to discuss today? Today, I'm going to discuss on one more design pattern which falls under the creational category, which is called build a design pattern. Okay. So, what is build a design pattern? According to Gang of Four, the four people who has written a book on these design patterns. Okay, the builder design pattern builds a complex object using many simple objects and using a step-by-step construction process or approach. Okay, the process of constructing a complex object should be generic so that the same construction process can be used to create different representation of the same complex object. Okay, so basically what Gang of Four says is builder design pattern is something which has a different construction process. Okay, sorry, or you can say which has a generic construction process. Okay, which can be used to create different representation of the same complex object. Okay, so the builder design pattern is all about separating the construction process from its representation. When the construction process of your object is very complex, then only you need to apply builder design pattern. Okay, do remember these points, guys. Whenever during the software design or business domain application, whenever you are working on such applications, and when you find construction of object is very complex, okay, and it involves a lot of steps, okay, then only consider using builder design pattern. One such good example is creation of reports, guys. Okay, that is a good example for making use of builder design pattern. And also, if you take example of Microsoft ASP.NET course web host builder or web app builder, okay, that is also an example where you are going to build a complex object called web host, okay, using the builder design pattern. Now let's move on. Example to understand builder design pattern. Let's understand the builder design pattern in C Sharp with a real-time example. Suppose we want to develop an application for displaying the reports, as I already said. Okay, the reports we need to display either in Excel or in PDF format. Okay, same data basically, which can be represented in Excel or PDF format. That means we have two types of representations of the reports. In order to understand this better, let's have a look at this following diagram. Okay, so just see this diagram, guys. Request for a report. Okay, now there is a condition. What kind of report type? Excel or PDF? But see the construction process. Create a new report, set report type as Excel, set report header as Excel, set report content as Excel, set report footer as Excel. A trivial example with which I'm trying to explain. Okay, so I gone through internet, I found a lot of solutions, but this one which was very simple and pretty simple in order to understand the concept of builder design pattern. In the same way, if you see the PDF, see again it's a same set of processes. Create a new report, set the type as PDF, set the header in terms of PDF's context, set the content as the PDF's context, okay, and then report footer in terms of the context of a PDF report and get the report. Okay, so if you have a look at this diagram, no, okay, there are two different representations, but the construction process is same. Okay, it's a generic construction process. So that's what builder design pattern says all about. Okay, so as you can see in the above image, we are generating the report either in Excel or PDF formats. Here, the construction process involves several steps such as creating a new report, as I already explained. Okay, so setting the type, header, content, footer. Okay, if you look at the final output, we have one PDF representation and one Excel representations. Okay, so that's what I already explained. The construction process is the same. Only thing is we end up in creating two types of reports or two representations basically. Okay, so this diagram will tell you the same construction process but two representations, PDF as well as Excel. Okay, so let's move on, understand the UML diagram for the builder design pattern very quickly. So this is what the UML diagram looks like. I think wherever you go you will find the same thing. Okay, so let's start with it. We have a director who basically starts the construction process by passing a builder. Okay, so this is a class which is used to construct an object using the builder interface. Then comes the builder. This is an interface which is used to define all the steps, the generic steps to create a product. Okay, so as you can see, it's a builder. So how the building will happen, we will first build part 1, part 2, part n or x, and then we get the product. Okay, So this is what the contract basically for a builder. Then a concrete implementation, which basically implements my contract, that is the builder. Okay. So when basically we call the get product, right, it will end up in producing a product which is the ultimate end product of my builder design pattern. Okay. This is a class which defines the parts of the complex system or object which are to be generated by the builder design pattern. So pretty simple. Now, in order to separate the construction process from its representation, the builder design pattern involves four components. They are as follows. The abstract builder, okay? As I already explained, the contract or the interface basically which tells how this generic process will work, okay? That's what I have already explained. The concrete builder. The concrete builder is just a concrete class which implements your abstract builder. Okay, but it does some extra stuff. So the concrete builder classes implement the abstract builder interface and provides implementation to all the abstract methods. See the statement abstract methods because this is an interface or abstract class. Now, based on the type of product or type of report, you have to provide the implementation for each and every method inside your concrete builder. So that's what they are saying. Okay, we have to provide the implementation. In case of Excel, what all mechanisms you need to follow, that logic should go into those methods. In case of PDF, how the content will be handled, how it will be converted to binary, how the footers will be evaluated. So the process is very different for two types of reports. So that logic should go into these methods basically. Okay, the concrete builder is responsible for constructing and assembling the individual parts of the product by implementing the builder interface. It also defines and tracks the representation it creates. Okay, so that is the responsibility of a concrete builder. Director. The director takes those individual processes from the builder and defines the sequence to build the product. Okay, so basically it receives your builder and it will go in the steps basically which is provided by my builder interface. Okay, it will go in a step-by-step manner in order to get the final product from my builder product, which is the class, and we want to create this product object using the builder design pattern. Okay, this class defines different parts that will make the product. Okay, so well, we were talking about a lot of theory. Now let's dive into a practical example, guys. So I will open Visual Studio. Okay, same example I'm going to take, which I already explained, right? I'm going to take the concept or the example of reports basically. Okay, now first define a class for my product. Okay, and what is my product? It is a report. So what are all things I have here? I have a report type which tell me what kind of report I'm creating, header, footer, content, and just a trivial method display report which will tell me once my report is constructed, it will print out what kind of what the type of report it is, its header, content, and footer. Okay, a very trivial example just to understand the pattern, guys. Okay, then comes creating the abstract builder class. You can go with interfaces or abstract classes, it's up to you. I would like to go with abstract classes because in this pattern basically there you may encounter some steps which may be common for all kinds of representation. In such cases you can provide a default implementation in case of abstract classes. Okay, so protected report. Okay, see the keyword I'm basically making use of is a protected. Okay, so the derived class which basically goes to specific report builder. Okay, either a Excel report builder or PDF report builder will be having a private object. Okay, so if you see, set the report type, set the report header, set the report content, set report footer. This is my contract basically for the builder. Okay, so whoever wants to implement this contract, they have to provide implementation for all these steps one by one manner, and it will change, it will vary based on the product. Okay, you are going to create. Okay, so this is my abstract class, that's the report builder. So where I have abstract methods, set report type, set report header, content, report footer. Okay, and then yeah, create new report. Okay, which will give me just a dummy object, that's the report object, but I will fill this object by step processes or its parts basically. Okay, this report's parts I will fill by this step-by-step process. Okay, and get report will simply report the constructed report once all the steps are over. So let's jump over to the concrete builder. So there are two representations for my report, that is Excel and a PDF. So Excel report builder inherits from report builder, and see guys, Here I should provide an implementation like setting a report content in terms of a Excel file basically, or in the context of an Excel report basically. So I need to set the content in an Excel way, so that logic should go here. Okay. In same way, footer, header, and the types as well. Types, see how properly I am setting. Okay, I'm not at all using the if else logic by straight away creating the builder classes without creating a contract of builder. I have basically created a contract here which will tell me what all things I need to follow, what all processes I need to follow. Okay, and then inside those methods or steps, I'm basically specifying, okay, what kind of type I'm going to use. That is the Excel here. Same for PDF. I will go through the step-by-step process, and the logic specific to PDF will go for each and every method. And yes, of course, the type will be PDF. Okay. Now, the report director. If you see our UML diagram, director is the one who will basically initiate the process of constructing your report. Okay. So very simple. Report director. Okay. Who returns a report and receives a report builder. Okay. So as a report builder is abstract class, it can receive either a PDF report builder or Excel report builder. And look at the construction process, guys. Okay, how it goes. Create new report. First have a empty skeleton or a skeleton object, okay, or a empty object I can say. So first get the object created. I am not at all using new operator anywhere here. Okay, that is the point why we should use creational design patterns. This is the approach. Okay, first I create a empty report object, then I will start building its parts. As I'm taking example of very trivial scenario, which is report. So my report type is basically a part. I'm setting the report type. I created my first part. Okay. Set report header. I created my second part. Okay. Then I created my third part, that is the content, then footer. And finally, once I call the report builder dot get report, my final product is ready. Look at the beautiful construction process, guys. Okay, one by one it is going on. Okay, and finally the builder will end up in returning a complete or completely constructed object. So let's go through the program class now. Okay, look at the abstraction being used. Okay, the PDF report builder. Okay, PDF report equal to new PDF report builder, which is a concrete class inherits from report builder. Okay, then report director. I'll construct an object of report director because the director is the one who will initiate the construction process. Then report director dot make product. Okay, which receives an abstract which basically receives an builder basically. Okay, report builder. And if you see the report implementation, no, or if you go to its definition, see, it receives a abstract report builder reference variable. So even if you pass Excel report builder or a PDF report builder, okay, it doesn't matter. It only depends on the client. No hard coded references, no tight coupling here. Everything is loosely coupled, and see how beautifully it constructs. You just pass the object whether it is a Excel or PDF, but the process is same for both of them. Okay, so based on the basic object oriented mechanism of runtime polymorphism, it will automatically resolve which methods needs to be called on the supplied object of report builder. Okay, so this is the simple example, guys, I took over here. So here I have constructed Excel report, sorry, a PDF report. Then in the second section I constructed a Excel report. Okay, so that's it. Let me run the program. So as you can very easily see the process, first I set the type, then constructed the part header, then constructed the part content, then constructed the part footer, and eventually I ended up creating my complete PDF report. Same way for the report type of Excel also. Okay, so let's start with the advantages now. Basically, the advantage of using this builder design patterns. With the builder design pattern, the application code is more maintainable and readable. Yes, because you have provided a well set of construction process. Okay, you have very properly provided the step of processes required in terms of a abstract class or an interface which defines a contract in order to build a product. Okay, so that's why very easy to maintain the code, and it is very readable, less prone to errors, as we have a method that returns the finally constructed object. Okay, so usually you won't get a partially completed object. So once all your steps are applied, so when you call that method, it will eventually end up in returning the complete object itself. Okay, so the director method, basically which you called over here, right? They are speaking about this method, the make product. So whenever you call make product, rest assured that you are being returned a completed object itself over here. Okay, no partially completed objects. Disadvantages of builder design pattern: the number of lines of code increases in the builder design patterns. Okay, but it makes sense as the effort pays off in terms of maintainability and readability. Yes, I agree. Basically, if more and more parts are being added, or if the complex objects complexity keep on increasing with ever increasing requirements, then yes, you have to keep on increasing the lines of code in order to handle all those things. But that's what I said. It basically pays off in terms of maintainability and readability. Okay, it will save you for bigger problems, basically, when you don't use this particular design pattern, guys. Okay, so when to use the builder design pattern in real-time applications? We need to use the builder design pattern in the following scenarios. Okay, when we want to make a complex object by specifying only its type and content. Okay, so this is the requirement. For example, I want to construct a car. Okay, I want to construct a car just by telling what model I want and what interiors I want. Very simple. Okay, if I tell these two things, no, it should construct the complete car for me. Okay, so what I will tell, yeah, that's what, as I already explained. Yeah, okay, the object is constructed from the details of its construction process. Now, when we decouple the process of building a complex object from the parts that make up the object. Okay, so basically it's like, whenever you start the construction process, right, in case of this builder pattern, or whenever you have an opportunity to build small parts using the same construction process. For example, if you would have seen the process I used, right, I basically made use of builder design pattern to construct a report. Okay, in order to construct the report, what all steps I used? I set the type, I set the header, I set the content, I set the footer. Now these are my four parts. Again, the same construction process I can use in order to construct the parts of my report, like header, footer, okay, and the content. So if you find this kind of opportunities, right, if you find this kind of business requirements where same construction process can be used, then yes, you can very easily decouple the process of building this kind of complex object from the parts that make up the object. And then third part, when we want to isolate the code for construction and representation, which I already explained many times now. So that is all about. I hope you people understood this pattern, and you people will apply in your day by day design activities. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day, guys. Thank you.